Good afternoon. I'm First Warn 5 Meteorologist Mike Nicco. Still have a few showers hanging around, especially around Interstate 70 and southward as we head into the afternoon hours. So we're going to talk about that. And also we're going to talk about some wonderful weather on the way. But before we get to that, we still got these showers and fog the next couple of mornings. So let's start with what's going on with the radar. And you can see down there around Anderson, Lynn, Miami counties in Kansas, we've got some showers, even the possibility of some thunderstorms. There's a little boundary that's moving through that area. It's the last part of this area of low pressure that went through yesterday and brought us such a soggy but much needed day of rain, nearly an inch and a tenth at KCI, which was fabulous news. We've had an inch and a half this year. We're still about, this month, we're still about an inch and a half down. So that's the only game in town right now. But again, as I mentioned, we'll keep an eye on this afternoon. It's only about a 30% chance. Most of us are going to be dry. Most of us are going to be enjoying a return to sunshine as we head through the afternoon hours, as that will spread from north to south. But I just wanted to make you aware that there is the possibility, especially there's a sweet spot this afternoon from about 3 o'clock. You can see right there through about 5 o'clock, and then after 5 o'clock the storms will start to fade, especially after the sun sets around 7:08 today, 7:09, something like that, and then you can see they're gone and there's hardly any clouds out there, and that means all that moisture from yesterday, it could return as fog. We're already starting to see a little bit of sunshine breaking out on our tower cam, and the temperature is 72, so we're on our way to the mid 70s for the remainder of the afternoon hours. In fact, we're already there in Maryville. Look at that, 77 degrees. Still holding on to some 60s and some other areas, and then you can see low to mid 70s. So just a hodgepodge depending on how much sunshine has made it through the clouds. Once we jump into that sunshine, we'll jump into the low 70s and then the mid 70s this afternoon. But we're going to have to carry about a 30% chance of those storms. Now, not expecting anything severe. No, the biggest threat is just lightning, and even that's very minimal out of these storms. Rainfall amounts less than 1/10 of an inch. So it's not going to aggravate anything as far as piling up on yesterday's totals. I just don't see that happening. During the evening, look at this. We're going to fall from the low 70s at 6 o'clock all the way down to about 66 at 10 o'clock. So really nice for outdoor activities. I know it's getting dark earlier and earlier and earlier, and a lot of people talking about that, but nothing we can do about that. We can just enjoy the sunshine while we have it. So the three things you need to know. The first one is those showers and storms possible through early this evening. We've kind of covered that pretty well. Foggy mornings, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll need to really watch out tomorrow morning and to a lesser extent Friday morning. And then it's going to be outdoorable. Great weekend weather ahead. And we have so many festivals and games. NASCAR, I mean, you name it, we've got a lot. So here's what I was talking about, the rainfall. This is the latest update. So for the month, we've at least received more than we're missing, but not by much. We've received 1.58 inches. We're still missing 1.55 inches. And with the end of the month coming up quickly, next Tuesday, September 30th, so less than a week away, and there's really no rain in the forecast for the second consecutive month, we're going to end up in a deficit. And as we talked about last night on the weather show, that means our fall foliage is not going to maximize its color potential. It's going to be around 80%, which is still fair to good. It's going to be a lot like last year. But those are the kind of things we talk about during the weather show, is neat things like that, that everybody maybe takes for granted but doesn't understand how they happen. So we're happy to do that. In fact, I'm working on a kind of like a harvest forecast for this weekend. If you want to go picking apples or pumpkins, I'm going to have that during today's weather show at 6:30. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about tomorrow. Let's get you ready for that. May cause some delays. The fog will be thickest through about 10 o'clock, and then we'll have sunshine and a few clouds. I mean, there's a lot of moisture in the air still tomorrow, and so we'll have a few clouds, but it'll definitely be a bright day and a comfortable day. What are we talking about temperature-wise? So we got to dress a little bit warmer for the morning. We'll be around 58 degrees. That's a little closer to average. Average is about 55. Heading home, 78 with tons of sunshine. That's pretty close to average. Average is about 76 for tomorrow. So kind of break it down. We're in the 50s through 8 o'clock, and then, man, we quickly jump into the upper 60s by 10 o'clock. We're in the 70s by noon and mid to upper 70s from noon all the way till about 7 o'clock, and another gorgeous evening on the way. Winds will be out of the northwest about 5 to 10. They'll be very, very light. They're going to keep our temperatures in check, pretty close to averages as we mentioned. But look at this. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook. This is for next Tuesday all the way into almost the weekend. The averages are 74 and they cool down to 73. We've got an 80 to 90% chance of being warmer than average. So that could be, mid 70s. It could be up to mid 80s. I mean, there's some models saying it's going to get pretty warm this weekend and into next week. Rainfall outlook, we got about a 33 to 40% chance of drier than normal. That's about as close to being equal, which is that little area you see with no color between the wetter than normal out in western Kansas and what we're dealing with here in eastern Kansas and western Missouri. So we're kind of almost on that equal chances, and we really want more rain. We need it. The drought monitor comes out tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how it looks after yesterday's rain, because I think it's going to take yesterday's rain into account. I believe they gather all the data on Tuesday and spend all day today putting it together, and then they issue it tomorrow. So today is our only day with temperatures below average in the mid 70s, because we're in the upper 70s to mid 80s Thursday all the way through Tuesday. So this is the way your Security Bank 7-day forecast looks, and we'll go day by day, through this. We'll start with today. And let's just talk about those rain chances one more time. 30% all the way through about 5 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 20%. Definitely see a diminishing returns there. And then by the time we get to 8 o'clock, it's gone. It's done. So for Thursday, 56 in the morning, as cool as it gets. Fog through about 10 o'clock, 79, mostly sunny in the afternoon. Friday looks fantastic. And of course, the Current have a Friday game at CPKC Stadium, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Look at this great weather. They'll kick off at 7 o'clock, and about 90 minutes later, give or take how much extra time they need, will cool down to about 67 degrees. So you may want to have, your Current long sleeve shirt, maybe your Current sweatshirt for the end of the game. Now, we know Mizzou, KU, K-State all play at home this weekend, and we're going to show you those forecasts in greater detail coming up. We're going to focus on temperatures in the mid-80s for those by the end of the game, for sure, for K-State and KU, because they start at 11 o'clock. Mizzou, you're going to fall back into the 60s, so you'll want to have a sweatshirt for you because your game's a little bit later, around 6. But, NASCAR's back. Yeah, they're going to fire up the speedway out there at the Legends for the NASCAR Kansas Lottery 300. And for Saturday, we're looking at those mid-80s. Now, it is the 27th of September, but if you spend any time outside, you need to have some sunscreen on. I mean, you can get sunburn. You can develop a really nice sunburn even this time of the year. So something to think about if you're going to be out there. Also Sunday, the game's at 3:25, and it's going to be a tough game. Ravens are in town. We know we have a long history with them. Well, a short history in the playoffs, maybe you could put it that way. But either way, it starts at 3:25, so you're going to be tailgating out there. And if you're in direct sunlight, once again, have the shade. But, I know most of you will have your canopies or your, I don't know what they call them, tents, because tents have sides. So you'll have the protection out there. But this is going to be gorgeous once again. Temperatures will warm into the mid-80s as you're tailgating all the way up into kickoff. And by the time the game is over, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'll be falling back into the upper 70s, even the middle 70s as you're heading back out into the parking lot to head home. Now let's talk about next week. Yep, those are the last 2 days of September. Can you believe that? Man, this month has flown by. And we're just going to keep the ball rolling. Temperatures around the upper 50s to near 60. In the city, a little bit cooler when you head out more into the burbs. And mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions, 82 on Monday. And we'll wrap up the month Tuesday with 81 degrees. So that's a look at your Security Bank 7-day forecast. Thanks for tuning in. I think we got you prepared for what's coming up. Of course, always new data is coming in. It'll be in here in the next couple of hours. And Melissa and Luke will be with you as we head through the afternoon and into the evening. And I'll join them for the weather show at 6:30. We sure hope to see you then. Have a great afternoon.